Right now on News 3, moving Baraboo forward 1 week now after the controversial photo surfaced online.
4 people are dead, including a Chicago police officer, after a gunman opens fire near a hospital.
And later, how a devastating crash in Indiana is rekindling the conversation about safety around our school buses.
This is News 3 at 10.
Thanks for joining us tonight. It was a week ago that a photo showing boys from Baraboo High School appearing to do a Nazi salute went internationally viral.
With the world watching, Baraboo is pledging not only that they are better, but that they will do better. Amy Reed joins us live from Baraboo with the community's first installation in a series aimed at growth. Amy?
Yeah, there were easily more than 100 people here tonight. They sat and they listened. No public forum, just listening to the collective hurt of the past week and words of encouragement to turn that hurt to love.
Be it resolved that the mayor of the city of Baraboo hereby reaffirms his proclamation declaring the city of Baraboo as Baraboo United Against Hate.
A mayoral proclamation makes it official. Baraboo is united against hate, committed to proving to the world and themselves the photo spread around the world is not them, but the way they act now is.
It was very disturbing, and it made me really feel how important it is that we take action, that we join together, and that we work for a more just and equitable world.
Rabbi Lori Zimmerman is one of the people invited to speak tonight, sharing with the town what she thinks is the path forward, coming together to resist white supremacy.
We can try to put this behind us without doing the hard work that it would take to grow from this experience. But I believe that that would be a mistake.
Her words moved the crowd to a standing ovation. The mayor and the school superintendent followed up, encouraging the same togetherness and forgiveness.
I am certain that the kids in that photo are not full of hate. They are not hopeless and we should just turn our backs on them and walk away. They are not incapable of amazing acts of empathy.
After the speeches came the thoughts, literal intentions written on seed paper and planted to grow, a good metaphor for what Baraboo natives hope to see.
I believe that in the future, we are going to see this community transform. I think that we're going to have words behind what our actions are going to be. We're going to know what it is we want to be. That's the most important thing. It's not where we sit right now, it's where we want to be and who we want to be known as.
Tonight's Baraboo Gathers was the first of 3 installments. The next one, Baraboo Talks, will be next Thursday, the 29th at 6 o'clock in City Hall. After that, they'll have Baraboo Acts, but there's no set plan for that one yet.
Amy Reed reporting live from Baraboo tonight. Amy, thank you.
We're also hearing from the Baraboo Chief of Police for the first time since the photo surfaced a week ago. He gave us an update on the still ongoing investigation and cleared up exactly what the department is and is not investigating.
We will not be looking at anything that involves the First Amendment. Our job is to determine if there's violations of the state laws or any federal laws that would be appropriate that we as the police can enforce and take appropriate steps to charge those if we can.
He says particularly they are looking into why the photograph was posted and by whom, and if there was any intent to do harm to someone by posting it online.
4 people are dead, including a Chicago police officer, after a shootout near Mercy Hospital on the city's south side this afternoon. A special police procession tonight taking that officer from the hospital to the funeral home. The shooting began around 3:20 this afternoon. Witnesses said the gunman targeted a woman near a parking lot. He shot her several times before entering the hospital and opening fire. 2 of the victims are hospital employees. The shooter is also dead, but it is unclear if he was killed by police or if he took his own life. In Madison, police say they have a person in custody tonight believed to be involved in a shooting that sent a 36-year-old woman to the hospital. This happened inside the victim's apartment on Tree Lane on the city's west side. Police say they arrested a person of interest as they were trying to leave the area. The victim has wounds to her arm and leg, but is expected to survive.
We turn it over to weather now. Most of the snow that fell the last few days is gone, but it is still chilly out there. Live look from our Edgewater sky camera at the Capitol tonight as we look to some busy travel days ahead. Chief Meteorologist Gary Canaldi, the Weather Center, our first alert forecast. Gary?
Everything's pretty quiet tonight. There are some snow flurries in the northern parts of our viewing area. Not sure how much of this is reaching the ground. I suspect some of it, but it's more in the form of a few flakes than anything more persistent than that. There's Doppler track across southern Wisconsin. You take a look at pinpoint visibilities. Looks like Wautoma reporting a 6-mile visibility in some light snow, but elsewhere visibility is at or above 10 miles, means very little of the snow is reaching the ground. Low temperatures this morning started out in the upper teens and lower 20s, about average or just a little bit below average for this time of year, but high temperatures in the upper 20s to low 30s, a good 10 to 12 degrees below normal, and current temperatures are still in the upper 20s thanks to the cloud cover. Skies are clearing out in northern Wisconsin, and we'll probably see some clearing toward morning. In fact, by tomorrow morning, look for temperatures to be down into the upper teens to lower 20s. We'll see partly sunny skies tomorrow, but another cold day with a high temperature of 31. That's your first alert forecast.
Gary, thank you. The list of victims continues to climb in the Camp Fire in Northern California. That wildfire is blamed for at least 77 deaths. Nearly 1,000 others are still unaccounted for. Now, the state's largest power company, Pacific Gas and Electric, is under new pressure to explain its actions before the fire after it reported having equipment problems near the area where the flames were first spotted.
4 teens are in custody after leading police on a pursuit this morning in a stolen vehicle. It was reportedly stolen from Middleton. Police say this type of thing is becoming more common in Dane County. Waunakee police tell us the number of burglaries and car thefts have nearly quadrupled this year. While police can't say why exactly it's been happening, they do say do your part. Lock your car doors, lock up your home so you don't become the next victim. There are once again fewer hunters taking part in the state's 9-day gun deer hunt. The state DNR says as of Friday at midnight, nearly 443,000 gun licenses have been sold this year. That's about 46,000 fewer than last year. The DNR plans to release opening weekend harvest totals sometime tomorrow. There will be no recount of the race for Wisconsin Attorney General.
Republican incumbent Brad Schimmel announced his decision this morning. Less than 1 percentage point separated him and his challenger, Democrat Josh Kaul. Under state law, the margin must be within 1 percentage point for a candidate to seek a recount. Fewer than 18,000 votes separated the two. Schimmel would have been responsible to cover those costs. Local county clerks are taking issue with a possible change by Republican state lawmakers to change the date of the presidential primary in 2020. Conservative state Supreme Court Justice Dan Kelly is on the ballot, but because it would be the same day as Democrats choosing a potential challenger to Donald Trump, turnout could be very high. Clerks say adding another election to their already hectic schedule could cause multiple issues.
Considering that just about every election has a high turnout these days, or at least higher than usual turnout from previous comparative elections, it would add significant costs to our budget.
The State Elections Commission didn't have an immediate cost on how much an extra election day would cost, but in 2016, an election with a presidential primary on the ballot cost local clerks about $6 million.
A continuing power struggle in Washington as House Democrats discuss who should lead them now that they have the majority in the House. Today, 16 Democrats released a letter saying they'll vote for the new leadership when the House picks leaders in January, posing a threat to Nancy Pelosi, who is currently the most likely candidate for Speaker of the House. No one from Wisconsin is on that letter, but 2 of the state's 3 Democrats in the House aren't saying yet whether they will back her. Representative Mark Pocan told reporters today he hopes to make a decision after he has a chance to meet privately with Nancy Pelosi. And Representative Ron Kind from La Crosse opposed Pelosi as a minority leader 2 years ago. His spokesman says Kind is also undecided now and is scheduled to meet with her later this month. To the tune of "Oh Christmas Tree," a horse-drawn carriage carried the White House Christmas tree to the foot of the building today. The president and first lady there walking hand in hand to get a closer look. This year's tree, a Fraser fir from North Carolina. It'll be displayed in the Blue Room of the White House.
And just ahead of Thanksgiving, Monroe Street will be reopened to traffic in both directions on Wednesday. The city says Speedway Sand and Gravel will reopen two-way traffic sometime in the afternoon. Bus routes will reopen on Monroe on Thanksgiving. And city crews will finish installing street signs over the next couple of weeks. Still ahead tonight, after a tragic crash in Indiana, we revisit the laws and rules around school buses.
How to approach them and why parents are demanding more from all drivers. This News 3 exclusive when we come back.
Since a tragic crash in Indiana last month killed siblings, there's been a greater focus on drivers knowing the rules of the road when it comes to school buses.
Drivers failing to stop for a school bus puts the lives of children in jeopardy in Wisconsin every day. Tonight, the perspective of school bus drivers and operators whose only goal is to keep our children safe.
The way I see it is we have the world's most precious cargo on board.
Portage area school bus driver Nate Murray takes his job very seriously.
It's a responsibility not to be taken lightly.
With many of his routes on rural roads in Columbia County and in the city of Portage, some include highways.
Highway 16 is a drag strip, and so is Highway 22.
It was a crash last month in central Indiana that brought school bus safety into the spotlight once again. 3 siblings killed instantly when a driver drove around a school bus with its lights flashing, its stop arm extended.
My heart just broke. I was angry that that this is even happening.
Kay Pear is the operations manager for Right Way Transportation at its Portage Poinet terminal. It was that crash in Indiana and a few others that led her to reach out to News 3 to educate drivers about an issue she sees all the time.
You see a big yellow school bus and it has lights flashing, or you just see a big yellow school bus, you need to wake up. You need to really pay attention.
State law in 2016 required all Wisconsin school buses newer than 2005 model years to have flashing amber lights, designed to tell drivers that a bus is preparing to stop, but some drivers interpret it much differently.
The distraction and they're in a hurry. And I believe that when they see the yellow lights on a school bus, they don't realize that those yellow lights mean you need to stop.
People see the yellow. Yellow means go faster, right? Not stop. My yellow means I'm gonna stop.
Once the bus stops and those red lights are on, failure to stop could result in fines of up to $300. And while it doesn't apply to vehicles driving in the opposite direction on a divided highway, it does apply if no barrier is present on any multi-lane street or highway. The DMV says there were more than 1,000 such violations in Wisconsin in 2017.
They just zip on right through. And then also when you have the red lights on before you let the kids out and you're checking your mirrors, they're just not paying attention.
Enforcement can be difficult, but getting easier. While most buses have onboard cameras, more and more of the newer ones also have dash cams, which means you may be caught on video if you don't stop. With sometimes 70 or more kids packed in behind them on a bus, school bus drivers have enough to worry about without trying to get the license plate of a violator.
I'm upset they ran my stop sign, but my first priority is not them and their license plate. It's making sure little Johnny or little Susie is going to make it home safe.
Something that becomes increasingly more difficult if Wisconsin drivers don't get the message to stop for school buses.
I have never had a child get hit. If that ever does happen, I personally think I will hang up my hat. I don't know if I can recover.
The emergency services always tell us it's not if it happens, it's when.
Important to note, just because a stop arm is not extended, it doesn't mean you shouldn't stop. Either from the back of the bus or opposite direction, you need to stop 20 feet or more when those flashing red lights come on, and you cannot go until those lights are off and the bus is once again in motion.
In the city of Madison, failure to stop for a school bus or improper passing is a $250 fine.
Well, a lot of people getting ready to hit the roads if they haven't already for the Thanksgiving holiday. Gary joins us now with a look at the forecast.
I think most of the time the weather should be pretty nice around here. Through much of the upcoming holiday weekend, we'll take a look at a travel forecast in just a little bit. But right now we've got some snow flurries that are showing up across central Wisconsin. It's hard to tell just by looking at the radar because the radar beam is about 4,000 or 5,000 feet off the ground where most of these flurries are. So it's detecting the snow there. How much of that is making it to the ground? And that remains to be seen. So you can see, it looks like there's a fair amount of snow there, but if you look at the visibilities, they're generally at or above 10 miles, meaning that very little of the snow is reaching the ground. Time-lapse from the WISC Sky Cam today showed plenty of clouds, a few breaks from time to time, a little sunshine coming through, but there were more clouds than sunshine, and that has been the case through the overnight hours as well. That's just after sunset there as the clouds are thickening up. The live view from the Edgewater Sky Cam at downtown Madison, not seeing any snowflakes on the skylights of the Capitol. Low this morning, 23. That's just a few degrees below normal, with that high of 31, 11 degrees below average. And right now we're at 28 degrees. Skies are still mostly cloudy. Those temperatures haven't moved all evening. Winds are out of the north at 7 miles per hour, and the wind chill's 21 degrees. Weather track across the upper Midwest shows a north to northwesterly wind flow, just bringing the cold air right down. So the next couple of days, we're going to see below normal temperatures. In fact, much of the eastern part of the country seeing cold weather. Some showers and thunderstorms near the Gulf Coast. Some more snow heading up into northern portions of New England, and a wet weather system heading for California, the areas that have been hit so hard by the wildfires. That'll help out the wildfire situation, but could bring flooding rains and mudslides to interior sections of that state over the next couple of days. But right now, these flurries are actually forming behind a cold front, which is pushed to our south and east. Notice the high pressure system up to the north. There, the skies have cleared out and temperatures have dropped to below zero up in northern Minnesota and parts of eastern North Dakota. We're still in the 20s here thanks to the cloud cover, so I guess the cloud cover serves one good purpose. Now, as we take a look at the future track model, this is the US GFS computer model longer range forecast beginning tonight. You can see those clouds gradually starting to wear away tonight. There'll probably be some lake effect snows downwind from Lake Michigan by tomorrow morning, but otherwise things pretty quiet across the Midwest. Some snow flurries passing near or north of Madison tomorrow night, and Wednesday should be quiet. Then as we head toward Thanksgiving on Thursday, our winds will gradually become a little more southerly with time, and as that happens, temperatures may start to moderate a little bit. We'll be in the upper 30s for Thanksgiving. No precipitation expected, maybe just a few clouds in the afternoon. And then on Friday, those southerly winds continue. That'll start bringing in some moisture, which will result in some rain by afternoon. And then as that system continues off toward the east, notice that the rain clears out on Saturday, and then on Sunday, we could see a chance for some rain or snow, especially late in the day as the next weather system moves on through. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. 18 for the overnight low temperature. Cloudy skies will gradually turn partly cloudy toward morning. And again, a few flurries can't be ruled out. 31 for the high tomorrow with partly sunny skies, so another cold day in store. You can see on future track those clouds thinning out tonight, lows dropping into the upper teens, highs tomorrow lower 30s. The next weather system, maybe a few flurries tomorrow night, then skies clearing out by morning with lows in the mid 20s. And on Wednesday, look for high temperatures in the upper 20s to the lower 30s. 7 to 10 day forecast. Thanksgiving Day, look for high of 38 degrees. It'll be a little breezy, but still a little bit of an improvement temperature-wise over Wednesday. Then look for high temperatures in the 40s for Friday and Saturday. Some rain showers there, maybe some rain and snow showers late Sunday, changing to snow Sunday night and Monday morning. That would be the one time period to watch for some slippery travel conditions and cold weather for the rest of next week.
All right, Gary, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Gary. Mike McCarthy says the Packers have to do one thing to keep their fading playoff hopes alive. The story coming up. Jay is back in sports.
Badger football season, regular season, comes to a close Saturday afternoon at Camp Randall when Minnesota is in town for a 2:30 kick. The Badgers look to retain Paul Bunyan's axe for the 15th straight season. It'll also be senior day, so guys like T.J. Edwards will come out of the tunnel at home for the final time. Edwards has certainly left his mark on the Badger football program. It's a legacy that should last for quite some time.
I try to just, lead by example and, do things the right way here. And it's something that's easy to do just because there's so many guys around you doing the same thing, and you just want to make sure that doesn't stop when you're done. So I think just, talking to the young guys and making sure they're doing the right things, and hopefully they'll carry that on as well. So I think that's what this place does.
Mike McCarthy says tight end Jimmy Graham wants to play at Minnesota Sunday night, even though he has a broken thumb. But there's less optimism on Mike Daniels' status. McCarthy says Daniels probably will miss a couple of weeks. With the Bears winning last night, the Packers probably won't win the NFC North now, but they still have a chance to sneak into the wild card. But with a 4-5-1 record, winning at U.S. Bank Stadium Sunday night is pretty much a must to keep those slim playoff hopes alive.
Oh, absolutely. We fully understand where we are. We understand what our record is, and if it can break it down even tighter than that, we need to win. We need to win on the road. I mean, that's something that we haven't done, and history doesn't help you, but it's a good reminder. We know what we need to do. Second time around in division games is always a fun challenge from my perspective. We clearly understand where we are in our season in the big picture, but we have to win this division game.
It's off to a good start this season. The Badger women's basketball team. Wisconsin takes a 3-0 record into its game at the Kohl Center tonight against IUPUI. That's Indiana University, Purdue University, Indianapolis. It's a great game. Goes to overtime. 37 seconds left. The Jags' Sidney Rule hits a three-pointer, and the visitors are in front by 1. But watch how it ends. Final seconds. Marcia Howard, right down the lane, hits the layup and wins it. Final score in overtime, Wisconsin 65, IUPUI 64. Badgers are 4-0. They'll play Pittsburgh in a tournament in Nashville Friday. And with their 3-0 start, the Badger men's basketball team is back in the AP Top 25, but barely. The Badgers are ranked 25th this week. Wisconsin is one of 5 Big Ten teams ranked. The top 3 are Duke, Kansas, and Gonzaga. Marquette dropped out of the top 25 rankings this week. The Badgers play Stanford in the Battle for Atlantis in the Bahamas Wednesday afternoon. And it's throwback uniform night for the Bucks. Remember that colorful floor at the old Mecca? Well, tonight's uniforms represent that. Against the Denver Nuggets, Giannis looks like a big old canary in his uniform, but he's as good as ever. 29 points, 11 rebounds. Final score, Milwaukee 104, Denver 98. We'll be right back.
Shot clock violation.
So the gang is all back. Welcome back, Jay.
Thanks.
It's been a month.
I got a new hip. Titanium's a wonderful thing. Dr. Brian Nickel, top shelf.
Uh-huh.
Feeling good.
Maybe I can get a bulk deal with my wife's knee, too.
Oh, my gosh.
A twofer.
Yeah.
All right, well, welcome.
Everything's good.
back.
Everything's good.
Moving around better in the newsroom. Final check with Gary.
Well, we've got to get out of the freeze first to kind of warm up for Thanksgiving. Right now, temperatures upper 20s. They haven't changed very much overnight. Low 20s for the wind chills. Look for high temperatures tomorrow and Wednesday in the lower 30s. Thanksgiving Day Thursday, upper 30s, a little breezy in the afternoon. Some rain showers later Friday into early Saturday, highs lower 40s. Rain and snow showers late Sunday. Could change the snow Sunday night and early Monday morning. Might be a little accumulation there. And then cold weather after that. Highs only around 30 for Tuesday and Wednesday.
All right. Gary, thank you. And thank you for joining us for News 3 at 10.
Do something good, and we'll see you back here tomorrow.
Making plans that are weather dependent? Get an accurate 12-hour, even a 10-day forecast. Download the Channel 3000 First Alert Weather app and start planning.